welcome to the 7th Black and White podcast. I know last time we said it would be like 3 weeks until we did another one, but that's not how this works. Today we have the Mavericks with us, but first our returning hosts are me, Dylan Nelson.
Hi, I'm Ian.
Hey, I'm Kyle.
We also have the Mavericks with us. Mavericks, you want to introduce yourself?
I'm Kevin Pringle of the Mavericks. I'm 21 years old. I'm a psych major math minor, and I'm from Seattle.
I'm Alex Anderson. I'm 20 years old. My majors are Psych and Comm, and I was born in Redmond.
My name is Glenn Anderson. I am also 20 years old and a Psych and Comm major, and I was also born in Redmond.
I wonder fucking why. They're so
Because
similar.
We are twins.
It's like you're twins or something. I don't know, man.
Are you guys like twins?
Yes.
We are identical twins.
Glenn, did you know that there's a dude that runs around campus that looks just like you?
Is
I've
it
been
me?
told.
The real question is, who is older?
I am older by 60 seconds.
So, for our listeners, Glenn, go ahead and say hello.
Hello.
And then Alex, go ahead and say hello.
Hello.
There, you have the difference in their voice. Good luck. So, what we're going to do today is a little different. We're basically going to just ask Mavericks questions, and then that will devolve into arguments or discussions or stories, and it will be a good time. So I guess we'll just aim this at all of you, and then whoever can pick up whatever question that you want to. So I guess the first I wanted to ask was, when and how did you guys found the Mavericks? How did that come to be?
Like the founding, like what
Yes.
happened to make us Mavericks?
Okay, well, that's pretty easy to start off with. Kevin and I believe 5 more of our 12-ish member team lived together on North Campus in our freshman year. In our second game together, we decided that we played together all throughout our first and second game, and that we should try and make a team together, and pulled some other friends from other places on campus. Take it away, Kevin.
I mean, that's kind of pretty much what we did. The only person I think who didn't live on North Campus at the time was actually Alex, and he got wrangled in through playing with us because, well, twins and stuff.
And I just knew everyone that was joining up with the team, so I was like, fuck yeah.
Yeah, we were all a bunch of just like dawdling freshmen though, and we were really freaked out for our initial vetting because we kept hearing stories about the infamous wolf pack or attempted wolf pack.
Sheep pack.
Rest in
Sheep pack.
peace.
Sheep pack. So, quick story for those who don't know. Wolfpack was a team of similar to us in that they were mostly freshmen who were trying to vet a team through HVZ, and they had a huge group going into it, and about half of them lived to the vetting, half of them died getting to the vet, half of that half died getting to the vetting, and then almost all of them died in the first few seconds of the vetting, and then there were like 3 survivors of like the 30-person group, and they just quit and couldn't make it through. And so we were pretty freaked out about making it through this.
And then
But we did
Dylan was actually the one running our vetting. To vet an HVZ team, I don't know if you guys have ever gone over this, but you start at one end of campus and you are given a designated route you have to travel in 15 minutes to get to the other end of campus. And all the zombies have been told how many people are going, how long they have, where they're going, where they have to go,
The
like
route
which way they have to go.
take.
Yeah. And Dylan was running our vetting, and we were all super pumped about it, and we're just standing on a wall like bouncing, and Dylan says go, and we just take off. And about a minute into it, we had to
Yeah.
stop for non-players passing through, and Dylan just turns and looks to us and goes, guys, you can slow down, you're like a quarter of the way and you've used a minute of your 15. And so
We were just
from there,
all
we just
super amped on adrenaline.
we just kind of paced ourselves at a quick rate so zombies couldn't get in front of us, and that's how we vetted.
Did you lose anyone?
We did not.
Well, we almost lost a human life, like an actual person dying at the end.
Oh, Eric.
Yeah. Right as we got to the ending point, a zombie rushed our last member. We were safe once you got to the other end of campus. As long as we stayed on this little lawn thing by a pond. And our friend of ours, Eric, one of the people who vetted with us, is like the last person to get onto the platform, and there's a zombie just like right behind him. And as he steps onto the platform, the zombie comes and like runs straight into him full sprint, and he falls back, and his head is like an inch from this rock, and he almost just like completely burst open his head on the rock.
Jesus Christ.
He was like close enough to use it as a fucking pillow. Like it was scary, but
We didn't
everybody
lose
lived.
anyone. We didn't have anyone get tagged, which we were really happy about. We had a lot of close calls. Like Kyle was like inches from me and Alex in the first like 10 seconds of the vetting.
Yeah, that ambush at Carver was kind of intense for you guys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we were like,
that-
okay, we got this. And then like 10 seconds in, like 30 jump, not 30, but like a bunch came out of a bush, one of which was Kyle, and Kyle got by far the closest.
Yeah.
Also, we had a member who was going to show up to our vetting, and he showed up late. And we had already taken off, and he ran us down and got to the end about the same time that we did, starting a couple minutes after us. So he just ran through our wake through the little trail of zombies behind us and caught up and vetted with us.
Who was that?
That was Michael Chung.
Michael
Michael
Chung.
Chung, yeah.
Of course it was.
He came blazing in his Timo hat.
So this is just not only pointed towards y'all, but I guess really the entirety of what your team thought of. What were your preconceived notions of what it meant to be a team?
For me, being a team was just us being able to derp around and be friends together and do special things together, but at the same time gain recognition as good players.
I
This,
absolutely agree with that.
this is something I actually felt really strongly about before we made the Mavericks, and one of the things that I really got us to go for, I said a lot of people in HB's like non-team affiliated but human players would complain a lot about how teams were exclusive and like didn't want to let people in, but I always kind of saw it as more something that it's not, they might be exclusive, but that's because they go into it and create the team as a group of friends, and that's what we saw ourselves as before. And the vetting itself and becoming a official team was mainly just like a way that we could prove that and like show other people, yeah, we're friends, like this is how we see the game as like a team exercise for us, and it wasn't like we're higher and mightier than you kind of thing.
So very anti-elitist.
Yeah, definitely, because
No, we're strictly better than they are, but we don't want them to feel that way.
Have you guys
Yeah,
let
that's not true.
Have you guys let anyone on the team since you vetted?
yeah,
two.
one. Oh yeah,
Two.
two. Yeah. The first person was it Danny? Was Danny the first person we let on?
Alex
after we-
Craig.
No,
was the first
A.
one.
Craig was the first,
Yeah.
right?
A. Craig was the first.
Yep.
We very shortly after we formed, we had a meeting to decide how we would let on new players, and so we have this silly-looking flag that we are known
It's
for.
not silly.
It's pretty silly.
A glorious flag.
There you go, Glenn.
A lot of the teams have something that you can recognize them by. Like Stars have these neat-looking patches, and they're usually decked out in tat gear. Black and White have these neat-looking bandanas, and they usually have like camo gear, really try-hard stuff. And then Umbrella had these jackets with like patches on it, and we just have this like giant-ass flag that you can see for like just the other end of campus almost, and we would run around with that, and we decided that to become a Maverick, if you weren't in the initial vetting, you had to survive a mission holding the flag, carrying the flag being our flag bearer, basically. You could have a flag, and you were allowed to have a Maverick, and that was it, and you had to survive.
You just survived the mission.
Yeah,
Well, you just had to basically just look cool and do what we said while doing it.
deal with our crap.
And Alex Craig he was also a guy who lived in Eden's North, but he couldn't make our vetting, so we had him come on and do that mission in the next game, and he survived the whole thing carrying nothing but a flag and a really crappy Maverick.
No
And
Maverick is good, but this Maverick was especially crappy.
And the second person we let on was Danny Dalton, and then I don't think he ever actually did our vetting process. I think we were just like, hey, this guy's super cool, and we all get along really well with him, and he should join the Mavericks.
No, we had him do it in the next game, I'm pretty sure.
Yes, he
Yeah, he
did
did
run
it.
with it, but we let him on before he did it with the preconception that he would. And he did.
Mhm.
Danny has a lot of that, doesn't he? Joining
Yeah.
something before he's supposed to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mavericks, mod staff.
We did just have a massive influx of Mavericks join mod staff.
Yeah, that's
It's
usually how it
kinda
goes,
nice.
though.
Well, see, it's really nice to actually have some rational thinkers on staff
Yes.
aside from B-Dub and a few outliers.
Well, now it's B-Dub, Mavericks, and a few outliers.
Yeah, exactly. There's a much higher percentage of rational thinkers on staff now, which is great.
I wonder what percent of staff our two teams are.
That's a
Oh,
really
God.
good question.
Both of our teams combined,
I bet it's like
Yeah.
for a
65
ratio of total on
plus.
staff, that's got to be 60 plus.
We have quorum off of our team.
Yeah, we do.
Wow.
Guys, we have quorum.
Well,
Start calling for votes.
I don't know how
Call
it was.
votes,
Call a vote right now.
I don't know how it was
Coup, dude.
for Black and White, but it started out as just me and Kevin joining mod staff, and then Alex joined shortly afterwards. And then this last quarter, we had Alex, Craig, Danny, Michael, Eric, and Aaron all join.
Alex, Craig, Eric.
We had 5 other Mavericks join in the last like 2 quarters.
Yeah, we actually had me, Eric, Danica, Tony, Court. I think that was it. We all joined the same quarter, and that was unprecedented at the time to have a team join like that. And so there was a lot of talk about not letting like 4 of us on because they didn't want to look like they were favoring a team too hard. And then they were like, no, we'll kick them out if that's going to be an issue. But
It never was.
yeah, it never was, and now look, we've got 2 teams plus like 8 people running the club.
But yeah, I remember I was on. I got on mod staff in Black and White roughly the same time.
I was
'Cause
definitely on. I think we were on mod staff before we were on B-Dub.
I think our TBF was that very minigame that we got on the team.
Might have been. Might have been the one before. No, because we had the weird TBF.
Yep, we had John's TBF.
Right, where I fucking froze to death. Okay, I remember that
that one.
now. Anywho.
TBF is not fun once, and then it's fun.
Yep, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah. Why Mavericks? Why was that the name? Why wasn't it
So the Mavericks.
Shorts or something?
It has a lot of meanings.
During the game that we formed the Mavericks was the first time that I guess mod staff had seriously invested in giving a plot line to HVZ, and the plot line involved Cerulean High School, who the mascot of Cerulean was the Mavericks because, well, it's like a staple Nerf blaster, and so it was kind of just punny.
It was supposed to be a joke because Mavericks get players killed a lot.
Oh, I see.
And so we kind of wanted to mock the blaster as well as pay homage to
The story in which we were
the story
formed.
that we were formed in.
Nice.
And so we just sort of combined the two in Mavericks. Yeah.
We were jokingly calling ourselves the Cerulean High Mavericks for the rest of the game, but it just became Mavericks because it had more consistent themes throughout our other games.
Yeah. So, other than having multiple meanings to your team name, what is something that you guys think your team prides itself on?
I think the whole like one thing that we've talked about priding ourselves in is that we're all about the same age. Like we're all going to graduate within 1 year of each other pretty much. And so a lot of the other teams are like legacies at this point. Like Black and White and Stars and Umbrella have taken on new members, and we're all gonna go away around the same time, and we're totally okay with that. And we think that we're probably the first team that is okay with that. And we only take on people that we're friends with, not that we think are good players per se. And so we sort of pride ourselves in the fact that we're going to be the first team we're going to show the HVZ player base that it's okay to have a team graduate.
It was at mini games. Some guy was like, "Hey, do you mind if I run with the Mavericks?" I'm like, "No, not at all, man. Like, come on, join our team. It'll be whatever." And he's like, "So do you guys have any freshmen on your team?" I'm like, "Nope, we're all pretty much juniors and seniors sitting around there." And he's like, "Well, you're gonna need some freshmen to help maintain your team." And I just kind of like I think I openly laughed in his face.
You just looked at him and said, "Why?"
Yeah, and he's just like, "Well, don't you guys want to live on?" And I like kind of laughed at that. And it's just like, no, we don't care. We're just a group of friends. I mean, if you want to join us permanently, like get to know us and hang out with us, and then maybe you'll get on. But other than that, that's the only way. Haven't seen him since. He hasn't talked to me, so I assume he's not that committed.
We also pride ourselves in our derpy gameplay. Like we're almost like the comic relief of HVZ to it in a sense. I mean, all the teams faff every once in a while, but a lot of the teams have like very operator tactics, and they're very good. And I'll admit, I would confidently say that Black and White and Stars, at least for sure, are better at playing HVZ, at surviving HVZ than us, because we have had no one of us have ever survived. We have a lot less total games played.
Well,
but,
Jake survived.
Yeah, Jake survived once. So
he also
we have
doesn't go
one
to Western
survival
anymore.
out of like 20. DayZ avatars born again, and then we actually turn
and then Luke shoots
shoot
them from 30 yards away with a Maverick.
Story time to go off of Glenn's description of that. We had team side missions, and one of our team side missions was we had to find 5 things hidden around campus in an hour. We got no description of what they looked like, where they were going to be, so we just started running around. And the DayZ avatars being born again was Danny, or no, I don't think it was Danny.
Danny.
It was someone.
It was Danny.
Someone running around, looking up and down and spinning in circles, just running through the middle of campus during open gameplay hours. And the zombie horde being standing staring at Black and White, who was doing their team side mission at the same time. And they were like, "Hey, look, Mavericks!" And all the zombies turned and set up a 30-man ambush and came after half of our team alone. And we lost no actual members of the Mavericks. We lost.
We had some friends in town, and they all died.
But they no actual members of the Mavericks died. Like, we saw the ambush coming, no one ran, everyone got back to back and put their backs to a wall and started doing firing squad, and the people who didn't tuck in close enough to the wall were the people who got tagged.
I think the iconic of our derpiness is probably Luke, though.
Yeah. I have
Team
witnessed
mascot.
Operation Double Kill.
Luke was my roommate in freshman year and one of the founding members of the Mavericks, and he is most well known for dual wielding, you heard me, Titans, which are the big, like, one-shot bazooka-looking Nerf guns. And it is just completely impractical in HVZ because it's one dart, one kill, or one stun kind of thing. And this thing you have to pump up like a bunch to even fire the
It's like a
dart
it's
at
like
all.
a two-handed 20 pump thing, and
And-
for like one giant slow-moving dart, and he dual wields them, and he's not even like a big dude. Like,
But we just guard him and wait for him to fire these and get like maybe 2 stuns. And it's just everybody knows Luke as like the Titan guy.
They also
He's
know him
goddamn
as the
accurate.
gnome.
He's the gnome. But
Luke
he's
is-
goddamn accurate with those things.
Luke is probably one of the best shots on the Mavericks.
He also puts a scope on any blaster he has because he claims it increases his accuracy, and he's infamous for going. See, when you have a scope and he just starts flailing his arm around, or he's like, when you don't have a scope and he just flails his arm around with the blaster in it. It's like, you have no idea where the dart's gonna go. It could go anywhere, and then he slaps the scope on it, presses it up to his shoulder, and goes, "See, now I know exactly where it's gonna go. Accurate." He's just like,
and we all give him so much shit for it because it's like a Nerf product. Like, accuracy contests with Nerf guns are like not really a thing, because especially with a place that's as windy as Bellingham, and he is probably
He
the
would
best
win.
shot on the team.
During
And
our
so-
vetting, there were 2 zombies that were giving us trouble, and they were kind of hanging back and keeping us really anxious. And we're like, wow, I really wish someone would shoot them. And Luke goes, okay, pumps this thing back, shoots 2 darts, and it hits both of them from like several feet away. And we're just like, what?
What?
They were full
was-
sprint too.
Yeah, well, it's Steve and Lizzie.
On the on the note of your team priding itself on certain things, what would you say? How would you describe what people have to do to go about getting on your team?
Be our friend.
Yeah, that's our number 1 criteria.
I guess Danny is kind of a staple example of that, in that Danny, the second guy that joined the Mavericks, transferred to Western, and he was just kind of photographing people playing the game. He was enthralled by it because, I mean, it's a cool thing that our school does, and so he was following around mostly the Mavericks. I don't know why he found us. Maybe it was just luck or whatever. And he would follow us around in all of our grand derpiness and take pictures and stuff. And
We had a lot of time to talk with him while he was running around taking pictures of us on missions.
Exactly. And so eventually, when he joined the club and joined mod staff and started playing games, we were the first to, start talking with him, because he had been photographing us, and we're like, well, might as well get to know this guy, like, and stuff. So ended up just kind of chatting him up until we started hanging out outside of HVZ, and then we're all like, hey, this guy should be a member of our team.
But like we said earlier, when the people come up, usually freshmen or so, and ask us, oh, like, how can I join the Mavericks? One of the first things to say is, oh, you have to be our friend. Like, we have to, because we hang out a lot outside of HVZ, and so we say we have to, like, get to know you at some point, and then like hanging out with you enough that we decide to add you to the team. And so Danny is our example of that, I guess. And then you have to pass the flag ritual.
Oh, and anytime anyone gets hurt while carrying the flag, they have to smear their blood on it, so that thing's a biohazard.
Oh, that's a requirement, of course. That
Yeah,
flag is actually like a biohazard.
There's a lot of blood
now.
on our flag now.
That's metal as fuck.
Yeah, metal as fuck, dude.
It might look like dirt. That's not dirt. Be
It's
careful
not
what you
dirt.
say.
It is human blood.
Jumping back to the Danny thing, it kind of seems like Danny is the candidate that you would look for in someone who's interested in joining the Mavericks, because he was not joining you guys so he could be on the team. He was friends with you guys because you all are sweet guys and awesome to hang out with, and then you guys asked him if he wanted to be on the team, and he said sure.
Exactly.
Basically, yeah.
Stolen,
Or
you
rather,
bastards.
neat.
Yeah. Sorry,
Neat.
sorry, Black and White. For those of you who don't know, Black and White asked him to be on Gray Squad, and Stars was asking him if he was interested, and we're just like, hey, you're a cool dude. You want to come hang out and be on the Mavericks?
No. He was on Gray Squad, motherfuckers.
Yeah,
on
he
Gray
was.
Squad. And
And then
we
we
asked him, and he was like, yeah, I'm a better fit for the Mavericks. Which is absolutely true. Danny is a much better fit for the Mavericks than he is Black and White, but
Oh yeah,
still, fillet me.
it's
He could-
absolutely true, and I don't hold it against him. But
He couldn't
our
really
balls.
go wrong with who he picked, being the cool dude that he is.
Danny, if you're listening to this, what we're trying to say is the Mavericks are just blatantly superior to Black and White.
And you made the right decision.
Really?
well, I guess we'll find that out at laser tag, won't we?
Please,
No,
we're above laser tag.
They're gonna get,
no, we aren't.
Kyle, they're gonna get eliminated in the first round again, don't worry.
Hey,
Okay.
screw you.
Wait, who eliminated them in the first
Second
round?
They had a bye.
Who eliminated them in the first round?
Well,
Brick
they,
Squad.
Second
Brick
round.
Squad.
they technically had to buy into the second round, and then
Oh.
they got eliminated on their first game. So,
Yup.
was
It's
it
also
was it
our
the-
first time playing laser tag.
Was it
Yeah,
the
so
Gotham
what-
City people or?
It was the Brick Squad. They were from the Ridge. That's all I know.
Oh, the dudes, yeah, the
Like,
bros.
half of them had afros.
God, Dylan, you remember the previous year where there was the bro team from the Ridge, and their entire team consisted of people wearing backwards snapbacks and bro tanks?
I actually wasn't there the previous year. Last year was the first time I did it.
Oh, okay. What?
Yeah?
I thought you
Yeah.
did it.
No.
Nope, last year was the first time I ever played that.
I don't believe you.
Oh.
But-
What? What do you mean you don't believe me?
No, Kyle, the year before he was down in Seattle. He
Yeah.
wasn't going to Western. That's why we had Ben Wargo play with us.
Oh, was that the one that Ninja invited us to play in?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I remember that now. Because you and Ben would run off and take objectives right out the gate because you both are so fucking fast.
Yeah. Anyway, so what we're saying is Mavericks, we're so fresh you can suck our nuts.
Hey, that's rude.
That's also only Aaron's desire.
Only for Ian, though. Only
Only
for
for
Ian.
Only for
Ian.
Ian.
For those of you who don't know, the Maverick member Aaron Shaw is for some reason infatuated with Ian. Not in like a literal romantic way, but for some reason he just really loves Ian,
Is there?
and we haven't figured it out.
So
Okay.
there's a story behind this where it was like
I love this.
where the Mavericks were just kind of chilling in all together in one spot, and then there was like a couple seconds of silence, and then Aaron says, "Don't you love it when Ian Patterson on Black and White just smiles at you?"
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah. Yep.
Don't you like Ian's smile?
Because he just kind of looks like a ruffian, and then when he smiles, it's like, oh,
Yeah,
he's
exactly.
just like us.
He's just like us.
We give him lots of crap for it.
Oh god, that's my favorite.
Aaron Shaw. Oh, that guy. I love Aaron.
On that slightly homoerotic note, I wanted to ask you guys what, if you each had one word to describe, what you think it's most important for a team to have, what would it be and why?
But
Cohesion.
yeah, probably. Like, I want to say something that has more than 2 words, which is why I'm bad at these. But I want it to be like-mindedness. Put a hyphen in there.
Cohesion means
Yeah.
like-mindedness.
Shut up, Glenn.
Yeah, I think if you need to get along with the people that you're on a team with, and you need to work well with them if you want.
Cooperation.
Yeah,
Cooperation.
cooperation. That's a
That
good
one.
one.
I'm gonna steal Kyle's word.
But yeah, it's definitely those are actually two really good things to choose: cohesion and cooperation. Because competence, sure, it's a big factor, but you can have a team full of competent people that work together, like Stars. Stars is of competent players, but every once in a while they just don't work very well together.
They
Or
have
like
by
they-
far the most survivals between them.
Yeah. So it's really obvious that Stars has many competent players. It's just they don't work as well together as like Mavericks or Black and White work well with their own.
Our main thing, like the reason that we succeed as a team, is because we don't need to verbalize what we expect the other people to do, and they just kind of do it. Like with our big ambush, we all knew exactly what the other people wanted to do, and we just did it together. We didn't need to communicate or come up with a plan; it just happened.
Or like, we don't tell people to scout. We just assume that Michael, Matt, Glenn, and I will do it.
Yeah, we don't have any like squads except for the people who ran track in high school and the people who didn't run track in high school.
We call them the Fast Mavericks and the Fat Mavericks.
Yeah.
I like that. We should start a fat squad.
Fat Squad?
Yeah.
Can I be squad lead?
Oh,
Yeah.
you'll be Snail Squad, and you'll be Snail
Although-
Squad lead.
There was the time where being on Fast Squad completely backfired on us.
I remember that.
Yeah, that was
Oh,
kinda
that was my
I
bad.
apologize.
That was
That was
my
a lot
bad.
of people's
That was
bads.
a terrible call. That
So
was my bad.
was that during the other ambush too?
No, it was during a Saturday Mission of Spring game.
That's
yeah.
right. We had like
Okay.
the Fast Mavericks, except for me and Danny, who were doing something else. It was just Glenn,
It was me,
Michael,
Matt, and Michael.
Matt, and Aaron too, right?
Nope, just me, Matt, Michael.
Yeah, and they went off to go scout for an objective, and 30 minutes later they weren't back, and found out that Glenn can take it away.
Yeah.
He was there.
From my perspective, they go, "Oh, we need side on the Toaster, which is this North Campus structure," and we were in kind of a blob with Black and White, and so we were moving really slowly, and we heard that Stars and Umbrella was supposed to cap this point, but they hadn't yet, and so we're like, okay, let's go and see if we can see them. So we're like, oh, we need a scouting party, which is a terrible idea. Scouting parties don't work in HVZ for the most part. on missions like this at least. And so me, Matt, and Michael are like, okay, we got this. And so we run up ahead and we shoot a few zombies who ran at us. And we see the toaster and we see nothing. It's like, okay, there's nothing at the toaster. And we turn around and there's about 30 zombies where we came from. And so we go, okay, well, not that way. And so we turn around and then we see another 30 and we're just trapped between 60 zombies. And we're just like, okay, there's a door there, but it was Saturday, so they locked all the doors, which means we weren't safe. And so we ran to the doors and we pulled on them and they were locked, and we turn and see just an unshootable amount of zombies running towards us. And I like dive to the side and turn and start shooting to the side, and Matt and Michael instantly die because they shoot like a bunch. It didn't even matter how many they shot because they just got swarmed. And so they both died, and through some stroke of miracle, they didn't see me like hop away. Like they were all just going after Matt and Michael because they were by the door. And so I ran and like I very barely got out. The only reason I lived is because the zombie chasing me's headband fell off as he was chasing me.
Oh.
And I pointed it out to him and he just started like cursing and turned around. But I would have been dead if that didn't happen. But I ran and joined up. But it cost us 2 people for like a smidgen of intel that didn't make a difference at all.
That was the worst mission.
That was the most I have ever been convinced I was going to die and then did not.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
There's
That was the highest casualty mission in HVZ history. There were 49 player deaths.
You weren't there, were you, Dylan?
I don't even remember what you guys are talking about.
This is the one with the factions, and it was the Saturday mission with the factions of the sheriff and.
Yeah.
Is that the one where Ian just came like ran from Hiker's Memorial to the envelope?
No, that was the Garden of Pleasures.
This mission was the Tell Dylan I'm Sorry mission, and then I ran to do Stars' objective for them.
This is where we got the walkie-talkie call of Ian going, "Everyone's dead, everyone's dead."
Oh,
that was
I remember
was
that.
literally the worst.
No, there were others. That happened every mission that game.
So
every single mission, Black and White's fucking dead, run! Oh, hey guys.
To give people another idea of how bad this mission was, close to the end, where there were so many zombies, and it was clear it was going to be a total human wipe if the missions director didn't do anything about it. So the missions director at the time, I think it was Brennan, turns to the zombies and says, "Okay, I want you guys to shamble. Don't actually run full sprint at them." So while shambling, the zombies killed half the players.
Well, okay. They also hit, because this was the one where the 2 factions were going against each other, right?
Yes, sir.
Wait. This was
yes.
the sheriff. This is when they hit the sheriff's faction before we even had our mission parameters.
Okay, so design behind that was zombies were going to hit both sides and everything was going to be okay. What actually happened was the zombies found out that the humans were having to split and they wrecking balled one of the sides. And I'm just standing there with me being on missions team was standing there with one of the other missions team people waiting for the go sign that the sheriff's team had gotten to where they needed to go. Just hear, "We're coming to you, get in a firing line. A lot of people are dead." And we're like, "What? Where are you coming from?" And he's like, "Hiker's Memorial." And we just look up and we see like 10 humans turn the corner and then just a swarm of zombies. And
yeah, that was
4 of them or 5 of them made it across the street. The others got ran down. It was really terrifying.
I was in one of those 4 that made it across the street.
You were the one who was making the radio call. You led the charge. You almost died, man. You couldn't breathe.
I'm quite aware, dude, because it was like, all right, we were all sitting on this wall, and then we realized after sitting on the wall for about 10 minutes, one of the zombies goes, "Is that wall safe?" And I didn't wait to figure out the answer, but the answer was in fact no. That wall wasn't safe. And everyone died, except for those who, when I said run, ran. So
And those were the smart people.
Just general advice, the call to run needs to, if the call to run is made, it has to be decisively followed. To any HVZ player in any game with any number of people, if one person runs when they're not supposed to, everyone will panic and run. But if someone
Super
calls
morale.
run and everyone runs, everything will be okay. But you have to stay together.
But
And
that's always fucking call to run before you need to run.
Yeah,
That's why you
definitely.
let an experienced player make the call.
And by the
that's
time it's
where the
time to
problem
run,
comes.
no one believes that it's actually time to run because people have been calling wolf the whole time, and then nobody runs. And then everyone dies.
Although
Oh, man.
HVZ is definitely a game where it's I don't have to outrun the bear, I just have
Yeah.
to outrun you.
Oh yeah. Oh,
You've
yeah.
just basically outlined Black and White's entire game plan.
Yep.
Dude, that's where everyone
That's why
just
you guys have a
assumes
mile
I'm gonna
time.
die, and then
My-
they're like, well, okay.
My main call to see if is it really time to run is am I the slowest person here? Then I need to run.
Even as a human player, I think that full human routes, like where they just completely retreat and route and abandon all ties and friendships, like, are really fun. They're really funny. Like as a human player, it's just like an every man for himself, herself, whatever. Just get the fuck out, run, scatter the winds.
Yeah. It
Or
just
if you're a
barely-
zombie player, you're like, oh yes.
It's
And if you're a
Christmas.
human player who has legs and is pretty fast, you can just get to a wall and watch the carnage unfold, or maybe slip out to do an objective, or just have a really awesome firefight. And God, those moments are like ones I remember the most.
As someone who's on a team that prides themselves on sticking together and holding the line, I have to agree
in
that there is a
gunplay.
certain thrill to seeing the line fucking crumple. And I look to my right and see Kyle, and Kyle looks to his left and sees me, and someone goes, "Run!" And instantly I know I'm on my own. There's fucking no one's staying. We
yeah,
just
there's
haul
a point
balls.
of just
You get
nothing matters. It's full
just
scale
fucking
retreat.
run. You see people fucking tripping over benches and shit, and you're laughing and like crying at the same time, running for your life. And you get to a safe zone, and people are slamming into the wall next to you, and you look around and it's like, "Oh, Kyle made it out. I'm glad to see that. Okay, who else is here?"
Yeah.
Those are the best.
It's crazy how much it like messes with you psychologically because you just see like one person start running and then you think, huh, maybe I should run, and then you see like two people start running and you're just like, oh god, it's time to, and then everyone just sees that and it just like domino effects and everyone breaks and it's just you don't see anything but the nearest door.
Yep.
Anything. And then it's just who's alive when you get there.
That's what I think is really interesting about the Mavericks is we do have fast squad and we have slow squad or fat squad, whatever you want to call us. Anyways, we can all haul when we need to. We don't like not every Maverick can run across campus,
Oh yeah.
but certainly every Maverick can haul to the nearest door.
Like even Jake can just turn into a bowling ball and like book it. I think that my favorite route of all time was the one in I think it was my second game where we were at like the Eden's Hill, the one right outside like the
It
main
was the
Eden's
killing
Yep.
of the CEO,
And-
yeah.
Yeah.
the moment I realized I was just a terrible person and this was a full out route was when I was like, thank God there's a guy in a wheelchair because I just like I booked it down the hill and like even Brennan, like the mission's lead at the time, like this super operator player, was just like, fuck it, I'm done, and just ran down the hill. And I was like,
You
well,
just see people tripping and eating
people-
it down this
like
hill.
I think at least 10 people like were literally prone, and like
Eric died there.
yeah, that's where Eric died. And I just like looked at Eric, looked at everyone else, looked at the people that I knew I could outrun, and went, "Oh God!" And I always remember that. And R.I.P. Taylor.
R.I.P. Taylor.
Also R.I.P. Eric.
R.I.P.
And
Eric.
like 20 other players.
I think, I don't know, like, my favorite break of all time wasn't really a break. It was, like, the most control break of all time, which was Prairie Fire, Prairie Fire,
yeah.
Prairie Fire.
I was about to say.
That was fucking amazing.
That
So,
was clockwork by everyone, including Michael Chun. Continue, Ian.
basically, for those who don't know what the Call of Prairie Fire is it's a military-esque term of, or it is a military term, they've used it for a while, that if Prairie Fire is repeated 3 times, it means everyone fucking run. Radio silence. You go. You flee. You run as fast as you can in a direction away from your comrades, and you find a nice little hidey hole and sit there, and then regain radio contact with your squad or team or whatever, and you figure out a safe rendezvous point from there. And the mission that Black and White initiated, Prairie Fire, was on this last game, which was we were outnumbered by zombies. I think it was like 3 or 4 to 1.
Yeah.
3 to 1.
It was 37 to 11
to start.
Something
3 to 1.
Fucking crazy like that, and we held the point for as humans for as long as we goddamn could. And then when we realized that we weren't gonna win, and it was time to minimize losses, we initiated Prairie Fire, and I made it across campus in about 3 minutes, 2 minutes, maybe.
Yeah.
I made it from the ridge to greenhouse by the time I think
The
most
mission
people,
over call was
yeah.
made.
That is a distance.
I didn't really make it all that
substantial.
far, but I hid really well. I
How
have
many?
I have a bad
Kyle,
habit
you
of-
were a monster in that mission.
Dude, I saw you guys, and each time you ran up, you had like 10, 15 zombies at your back, and me and Michael Chun and Stu would just like lay waste to all of you time and time again.
Yeah, I
Yep.
got wrecked in that mission by you guys.
Okay, how many of you saw Michael Chun on the tennis courts?
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
it was
Um,
me, him, and Stu on the north front of the tennis court the whole time.
When
Just
Prairie
us.
when Prairie Fire was called, Michael had been kind of caught out by himself, and when everyone scattered, he was stuck in the tennis courts, which is a U-shaped fence with one way out if you're not going through the gate. But the gates were full of zombies, and so Michael starts running back and forth across the tennis courts, kind of doing the Call of Duty zombie train behind him, juking back and forth, cutting holes where he needed to keep running, and then found an opening and just bolted and jumped up the like step out
Yeah.
of the tennis courts and just sprinted to the door and like threw himself against it, and it was just beautiful. He made like 2 or 3 trips back and forth across the tennis courts by himself. It was beautiful.
Damn. Yeah, when that call was made, I pretty much saw direction, saw a hole, and exploited it. And I think like 3 or 4 other B-Dub members noticed that, and they just kind of filed in behind me, and we just kept running. So it was super clean, and I was really impressed with everybody that was involved in that stack.
Didn't B-Dub and Mavericks both lose a member on that mission too?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
you guys
Dylan,
lost
Dylan
Alex.
and A. Craig.
Yeah.
Yep.
I killed A. Craig.
All right,
Yeah, you did.
Craig.
You asked. You've killed him twice.
Yeah.
We're starting to run up on time here, so I want to make sure I get this question in. What do you guys think about shit talking? I know that's a pretty open-ended question.
It's
Huh.
it's fun when you know that they know you're joking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like
Yep.
we talk trash about B-Dub because B-Dub knows we respect them and think that they're great players and great guys. People who don't know that about us, we probably won't talk trash about.
Yeah. In most other cases, it's just blatantly disrespectful.
Like, we don't talk too much shit about, like, Hoarder Patrol because we don't really know them. But, like, to Black and White, yeah, well, it's like, just like,
Oh,
Like-
what's some fucking scrubs?
yeah.
Ah,
Some
tryhards.
Scrub Patrol.
Plebs.
HBZ plebs.
Noob.
And so, just, I think it's totally cool because I think that every member of Black and White and every member of the Mavericks respects and enjoys the company of each other. And, well, Ian, suck a dick.
Ian, I thought we were married.
We are.
Oh.
See, look at that. We just went from suck a dick to I thought we were married. Like, I mean, this just, like,
Those two are not mutually exclusive.
Gay train
For the-
has no brakes.
well,
It was a wartime marriage. I was scared. I didn't think I was gonna make it out. I proposed.
Oh,
oh,
it didn't mean anything.
Fact
Of course
remains,
it
though,
meant
further
that.
exemplifies the dynamic that we have. In that even though we're on different teams, it's not like we're fucking hating each other.
exactly.
Unless it gets to the mini LARP.
Yeah.
Because then you're fucking dead.
Yeah, Jesus.
No, only Meat Grinder and Jake are fucking dead.
No, Danny's
Jake
gonna get
survived.
his ass.
Oh, Danny too. We're after you, Danny.
No,
How
no.
did
You
Danny
leave
die
fucking
in the LARP?
You leave Danny to
Well, that's a
fucking
story
me.
for another time.
Alright.
Danny is mine.
Well, speaking of, we still need to practice kidnapping him. He volunteered for the full contact kidnapping
yeah.
practice.
Ooh,
Well,
you
we
guys
have
wanna
a bunch of
practice on me?
professional
Ooh,
kidnappers
ooh.
in this call.
Ooh, kids.
Oh yeah. We got a little time. You should tell that story real quick.
Oh God, I
Alex,
got
you
this.
know it better.
Okay, so for the viewers, the listeners, whatever, I'm sure you know about the LARP, the mini LARP that we as a club plan and stuff, and so this time
Not as a
around,
club. It's not affiliated with us at all.
exactly what he said, and so Glenn is on the storyteller team. I think so is Ian and Kevin, and
Whoop, whoop.
this next year they're planning on having a kidnapping system for it. And so they're to combat the, legal shit that comes with that, they are having a comfort level system at registration, which will range from green, which is don't do anything outside of the game's rules to me, to yellow, which is knock me unconscious in game and then ask my prone ass body to move, and red, which is put a bag over my head, zip tie me, duct tape me, tackle me out of a bush, tie me to a tree and watch zombies eat me. I want this to be hardcore and realistic. Fuck you. And so most of us, probably everyone in this call, is going to go red because
Red.
yeah, we're all
Duh.
we enjoy this and we want it to be hardcore. So Glenn, in our 300-person class, is unknown to us at the time, loudly talking about this new kidnapping system and whatnot.
And how we just can't
And
wait
how
to
we just
zip tie
can't wait
people
to
and
zip
tie them
tie
to trees
people,
and see how
duct tape
long
them,
before they die.
Exactly. And so 2 days later, I get a call from the Student Wellness Center of the university asking about a student who is worried because they overheard me and my brother talking about kidnapping and assault that we were planning. And so I then had to explain to this poor woman what a LARP is, that no one was going to be doing anything they weren't comfortable with, and we have medics, like everyone knows each other, it's not associated with the school, we're not actually kidnapping anyone, no one's going to get hurt, the whole 9 yards. And to my surprise, she's like, "Oh, I know what a LARP is," and I was like, "Ha, I don't believe you. I'm telling you all this anyway." And so she's like, "Oh, well, that sounds fun." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm looking forward to it." She's like, "Well, probably don't talk about kidnapping in public anymore." And I was like, "Yeah, I got that. Thanks." And so,
But the weirdest part is we didn't know anyone in that class that we had together. Like somebody
they
had to
our
go
names,
through.
They had our phone numbers.
Like we
it's
must have
obvious
been
that we're
talking
brothers,
about it
but-
so excitedly that this person went to the teacher, looked up our names, and then the student health center, which is connected with campus police, like they're in the same building, looked us up and found our numbers, and it was just like this person went through a lot of effort to
accuse
nail us,
LARPers
yeah,
of
to
kidnapping.
accuse
Oh
us
yeah,
of this.
they were convinced. They were convinced.
So
Which I feel a little bit bad about because we must have scared the crap out of that poor person in class.
And what if they were freshmen?
Yeah.
And that was their first term here.
Oh, we're gonna find some poor freshman and we're gonna tie him to a tree and duct tape his mouth shut and see how long it takes for him to die.
Looking back on it now, it was the day after those school shootings.
Oh.
And so I think people might have been pretty sensitive to it.
pretty on edge.
And when Alex called me and told me about it, I was kind of laughing about it in the middle of campus. And then I thought, wow, this could have gone a lot worse.
Yeah, I
We could
realized
have had,
if there was an actual kidnapping that week, there would have been police at my door, and
Yeah.
I
In
would have been
seconds.
we would have gotten off free because there was no evidence and whatever. But it was just
Because
kind
you
of
actually didn't do it.
wow, this is kind of silly and hilarious, but also holy shit, police.
Dude, the police would have been at your door in literally seconds. You live across the street from
Yeah,
the police.
we live across the
Yeah.
street from the police.
They
I
would have
take
broke
out
out
their
that
goddamn
armored car from the
recycling.
fire station.
I literally take out the police's recycling for my work. So that's why me and Glenn were accused of kidnapping because of talking too loudly about HVZ or zombie stuff.
Not HBC, it's not affiliated with us.
Exactly what he said. Just a group of friends.
On that very clear note of what isn't affiliated with our club, we are out of time today. Thank you, Mavericks, for coming by today. Hopefully, we can get more people. We can do this again. This was a lot of fun. Thank you to everyone who's listening. Any voiced opinions are only the opinions of those voicing them. All advice given here is to be taken with a grain of salt. The kidnapping stuff should probably be taken with a bucket of salt. And if ever applied, only applied where applicable. Thank you, everyone, for listening today. Everybody say bye.
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 Thank you for listening.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.